Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. So much to get to. We have like 6 different videos happening today. We've got Gabby Wendy on the Chicks in the Office podcast on Barstool Sports Network saying Bachelor Nation is fickle, how Gabby found out about Erich's ex. We'll get into that story right now. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. I'm also live on Patreon for a long while today. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. Go check that out. So I'm going to share this clip. Of course, she's hilarious. She gives her opinion on all of it. She says, hey, I would have done what the other lady did if I were in that scenario. So we'll get into all of that. But first, as you guys saw yesterday and the day before, we made content where Erich's ex, who he dated for like a year and a half.
Be careful who you bang.
Sorry, a month and a half, went to the press and shared her story. She said, we were obsessed with each other every single day that month. He was texting me, I need to be with you. I need to see you. We really enjoyed each other. It came out of nowhere completely and really crushed me. And him and I were going back and forth on how upset we were. I'm going to share the Chicks in the Office interview. But first, here's what Gabby told Billy Bush. Remember Billy Bush? He got fired after Donald Trump told him he likes to grab women by their lady parts. And of course, Billy Bush was canceled because of what Donald Trump had said at the time. Now he's back, baby. And no, he's not hanging out with former presidents. He's interviewing former bachelorettes.
Gabby, you have your own issues with the guy, but you seem to have moved past with Erich here. Look, Erich had some texts with his ex-girlfriend or a woman he was seeing saying, look, I'm going to go on this show. Can we still stay together? Or whatever he did. He wanted to go and get a career change. Are you confident that Erich is past that relationship and 100% into you?
I am. Call me crazy. But, we all go on, I think, the show for different reasons. You never know what you're going to get. You don't know if you're actually going to have a connection with the person, who's in our position.
By the way, not that it's important for the conversation, but doesn't Billy Bush look just like the kid from Jerry Maguire? Don't they look like the same people right here? Just a thought. Okay.
Gabby.
Anyway, garbage interview. Let's go to the good stuff. Chicks in the Office does it good. Not that it's Billy Bush's fault. I'm sure he doesn't get to pick and choose his assignments. He's like, what do I got to do today? Am I covering the war that's happening or the uprising in Middle East? Or no. You're going to talk about Gabby, the Bachelorette, whose now fiance was dating somebody before he went on a dating show. Well, them's are the times.
Like watching it and on the screen, and you guys look so comfortable sitting next to each other. And when Erich joined the stage, and it was a really good kiss, and you guys, you could tell that like you have that strong connection. You guys have that bond, and then of course, you had your uncomfortable part as well, where they shared the text on the scrreen,
right?
And it was like, oh, we're really gonna do this.
Jump scared.
You.
All right, Gabby, you are in the running for funniest Bachelorette we've ever had. It's you, Caitlin. I mean, look, she's just nails it. She can't be serious, but she's great.
That you had known about the text before.
Yeah.
And so were you anticipating when these texts came out? Were you like, oh, all right, it's happened. It's here. It's happening.
Yeah. I told him he needs to buck up.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm afraid they're going to leak. I'm like, no, they're gonna leak.
Yeah.
So you need to prepare yourself on what you're going to do after.
Loved what you said when you said, I mean, you were an asshole, but then you still support him. And like, that's true love to me. Like you could call them out on their bullshit, but you're still like, I'm still going to support you and be by your side.
And that's how it was in the moment when he told me too. I'm like, honestly, like I'd be pissed too if I was her. I'd probably run to spoiler accounts trying to ruin your life too. I don't know. There's no saying. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I'm like, it's not actually like text messages or this or that. It's like character, how you treated her. But, it was all before the show. You move on. He has been, our relationship is different. He's been good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do think like
and that's what
sometimes the past when
and people will say, well, just because he's good to you doesn't mean you're not going to have to deal with this. Look, red flags aren't meant to avoid something completely. It's just to say, hey, here's a problematic area. So Erich had a red flag with how he handled the breakup of his last relationship. He apologized. The goal in life is to learn from your mistakes and pledge to do better. We'll have to see if that happens.
someone says like now the past is in the past, you guys have moved on in your relationship. I know. I think she said something after the live show along the lines of like, oh, she'll learn. Like, it's like, okay, it's an unnecessary comment at that point.
And also absolutely. I'm like, will I?
And people's relationships are different. Like somebody could be bad in a relationship with somebody else, but then really good with you, depending on where their feelings lie.
That's
like
you feel a stronger.
He feels a stronger connection with you than he did with this girl, unfortunately.
Which is
and so
part
that's
of dating.
normal.
Yes. You only end up with one person. You're going to go through many breakups.
So what do you guys think? Leave a comment. Should Gabby be on Team Women and the ex's side, or the guy she's with? I mean, I don't want to lead you guys into your answer here. I could see people making points in either direction, but if Gabby and Erich have a bad breakup where he leaves for the next best thing, and if that happens, people will say, well, I told you so. But also, I mean, in a relationship, you have to have your blinders on. You have to go at it expecting the best from your partner. I'm always okay if somebody gets like railroaded. It's like, it's not your fault that you wanted the best out of somebody else.
If that was the case, do I wish he could have told her straight out instead of ghosting her for a reality TV show? 100%. Yeah. But he didn't.
That doesn't mean,
and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean he's going to do it to you. Like, I think that's important. I think that people just immediately run with, oh, well, he did it to her, he's going to do it to you. Well, that's not necessarily the case. You guys have a different relationship.
Right. And one thing I will really commend him on is he's never defensive. Whenever we fight or get into arguments, like we don't actually fight, but just have a miscommunication, this stuff comes up. He's always like, you're right. I see what you're saying. I get it. He never tries to be like, well, this, and I feel like that's a really good sign in a partner, that they're willing to work hard to be with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you guys have these conversations behind the scenes, that's great too. I think a lot of people were upset that the picture from high school wasn't brought up during the live show, and there are times when you're like, yes, that if you're gonna put up the text from the girlfriend, or not even a girl he dated, like then have that conversation also.
But I said it's not even your thing to answer.
But that's what I said.
I was like, I'm not right. Like that's not up to you. Like that was totally his thing. So
let her talk.
We were saying like this isn't about Gabby.
Erich can speak on it, but Gabby doesn't have to answer for him.
Thank you. And I'm prepared to.
Right.
If you want me to.
No, because I don't think that's right to do to you, and I don't think that people.
Gabby's like, I'm prepared to talk. They're like, now, God, let her talk.
People should have to go to you and say, oh, you need to answer for what your fiance did. Like,
right. Well, and it's like, I know like we're a team now and kind of united in that way. So obviously I had to think about it and be like, what is actually, how, where, and when did things go wrong, and how do we deal with it moving forward? So we've had lots of discussions. Like, I think obviously there's no excuses. He should take accountability, and I don't like. It's not like, oh well, the conversation has switched gears because Tino's a cheater, and like things are like a different. But it's like that's not necessarily good for me, because obviously as a society we still need to be having these conversations. I don't want. For me, it was like, I think people thought I was shying away from the conversation, but like we were only just yesterday a couple. Nobody really knew if we were engaged or not, and this is my first opportunity to talk about it.
All right, so she says, look. And this is the same issue Rachel Kirkconnell and Matt James had. She didn't have an opportunity to talk about it because it would give away the spoiler that she's still with him. So it's only been a day and a half. More conversations are going to happen.
Definitely. And I think, it was a very long show, and he's like, we were like, how could have found a few minutes there, but
but between the first impression rose, whatever was happening there.
How would that take an hour?
All right, so there was a 3-hour show, and I like that they're being critical. I think they could have. I would say this. I think the chicks in the office could have done a little bit more to give, and I know they have a lot of questions they need to get to, but they could have done a little bit more to give Gabby the chance to speak on it, because I think Gabby was ready to criticize the show. I think it would be totally fair for them to say, hey, whose idea was it to not have this conversation about blackface?
I didn't see it.
Oh, you guys didn't.
All right, so I'm going to share with you guys one more clip at the 134 mark. Go check the full episode out. It's on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts here. All right, here's Bachelor Nation turning on them as leads.
on season, Luke P was really awful. Like he was bad, and everyone watching was like, how is he making it this far? And then I think afterwards she was like, I didn't see any of that. Like, and it was one of those things when we were all watching, we were like, how's this guy? But then you forget that you really only see them when they're with you.
That was the same thing with Jason, honestly, is that he was having these conversations with his family way before he was having them with me. So people were like DMing me like, Jason doesn't want to marry you. I like, thank you, I'm watching, but I didn't know.
It is Bachelor Nation. They can be
wild.
They're so supportive, but then
fickle.
Also they will go at you.
Wild, fickle. They turn on you on a dime. Hey. Well, checking the receipts. No lies told.
They will literally turn on a dime mid-episode. 2 minutes later, they're on someone's side, then they're on this side.
Bachelor Nation's just a bunch of people with their tiki torches like, Team Rachel, Team, we like Gabby, we F Tino. Tino's, just, okay.
And it's just insane to have to be in the crossfire of it at all times.
Yeah.
How was your conversation with Avon that we saw kind of backstage?
It looked like a good one.
All right, so we already covered that. You can check that out on our first video of the day. All right, folks, well, that's going to be it for this content. I've got 2 more stories. I got a heavy one. I got the DeMario story coming up. It ain't pretty, all right? I will give you guys trigger warnings on all future content. We are getting to the pieces. We are pulling the fuselage and the recorder black box out of the wreckage of this season. More to come. Link in the comment section if you want. Okay, hold on. I'm rushed. Link in the comment section if you would like to donate to our teacher of the day. You can donate. Just click the button, add to cart on your Amazon wish list, and you can do a nice deed out there. And I'm also on Patreon at patreon.com/DaveNeal. All right, that's it for me. We'll see you guys later. Bye, everyone.
I love me some Dave Neal.